Hello, my name is Chris Palmer, and in today's video, I'd like to discuss how to rank higher on Google Maps and some Google My Business SEO tips. So first and foremost, I want to talk about ranking listings. Now, in order to rank a listing, especially if we're looking at an unverified listing, how are we able to do this when there's not a business attached? Well, I call it the customer evolution. So I want to walk you through some of the important aspects, but I want to start with the most important aspect, which is proximity to the searcher. Some of the next and most important aspects when ranking a Google My Business listing, we need to start looking at citations. Now, the citations are there in order to drive traffic through. That's one of the ways. I also want to talk about ways that we were able to rank unverified listings and maybe even share a video that I was putting inside to basically showcase some of the, tactics that I was utilizing. So I'll go ahead and share this. It's for the advertising is what I was going to use it for, but I'll share some of it with you now. I just want to show you, so what we were targeting, and we sold this listing. The partner that I work with, we sold this listing, but it was for New York SEO. So in the beginning of this advertisement, I just want to show you, I want to go through here a little bit for you. What I was doing here, this again was for an advertisement. The purpose of this was not only were we trying to get the listing, but we did it in a particular area, which is the most prominent, which is New York. Now, obviously we got rid of this listing, but that's neither here nor there. The point of the matter is we were able to rank the listing that at the time was an unverified listing. Okay. I think I had it right here. So I just want to go through the steps in which we did. All right. Now, again, this listing has been sold off. I went through, I just wanted to showcase, especially since a few people were asking, all right? So this is one unverified listing. I also had some questions. Do I perform any type of lead generation or anything along those lines? With recent updates, we have been having a little bit of trouble, but I'm only in two niches, whether it be travel clubs or timeshares, all right? That's the primary business that I've been in forever, and that's what I do. But what I want to talk about today is how were we able to rank an unverified listing that had no business association when we started it? And that leads me back to proximity to the searcher, citations, but more importantly, all right, once you have all the other aspects in place, and I want to walk through a couple of those. So first and foremost is proximity. We know that, the citations. But I want to talk about the structure of a website. It's not necessarily mattering the words, but the words on the page need to match main categories, second categories, also services, even the words that were inside of your description. The association between the website and the Google My Business listing has to be there, okay? Another element that I really want to talk about is, again, the customer evolution and how did we do that? How were we able to get an unverified listing to rank in such a competitive area? Well, I'm going to explain that today. And I tried to talk about this yesterday, but I realized after going back in to edit the video, I realized that my screen was not there, so the explanation doesn't have the same impact. So I want to slow it down, and I want to take you through the customer evolution and how we were able to do this. All right, so that's what the purpose of today's video is. I want to discuss how to rank unverified listings or how you can get higher rankings in Google Maps, whatever the case is. All right, whether you're using any type of traffic generation, how are we able to get it to pop into place? So I want to talk about this. So let's say we're talking about a local search, all right? We're talking about a local query. So we're talking about a keyword search, all right? And this is what is called the beginning of a session. All right, when we sit down, if we're logged in to an account, or even if not, we're still beginning and starting a session. This is how I understand it. As we do a keyword search, and I'm just going to walk you through what we did. When we're doing a keyword search that just so happens is it's a local keyword search. All right, let's just do this. Local keyword search. The local keyword search would end up, here, let's go back. A local keyword search done on Google, and we've already pre-established other entities online that are associated to other keyword queries and geolocation queries related to our business and our main top tier keyword that we're trying to rank for. There's multiple different Google Map packs, okay? Your listing can rank in different places on maps and in the map pack for different queries. For let's say New York SEO, for that top term we're in place, but for New York SEO agency, for New York SEO company, nowhere to be found. So I want to take you down the customer evolution and how we were able to get it into place before my partner sold the listing, okay? In any case, local keyword search. Beforehand, we've already went out and we've already established other entities to push traffic through. Remember, the beginning of a customer session sits down. I'm doing a local keyword search. When I do my local keyword search, I could be looking and show up at another property. Now, that other property could be a Web 2.0. That other property you could end up searching down the list, whether it's page 1, page 2, page 3, so on and so forth. But if inside of this keyword search, I land on, say, a Web 2 or a citation of a property or an entity that I control, this is the next step in the evolution. Okay, let's say it's a Web 2.0, which is generally what we'll do. Why? Because it's easy. Also, we'll also set up other websites. Either or. On that location, after we did our keyword search in the beginning of a session, we land on a Web 2.0. On that Web 2.0, one of the strongest ways that we like to do this is we will do something that is called stringing URL. So we'll string a URL code, and we'll put that URL inside of an image, usually a call to action at the top of the page, especially if we're sending, say, micro workers, whether we're doing it ourselves. But inside of that page is generally different strings and URL codes that are either going to lead directly to a GMB, directly to our web asset, directly to a maps listing, or wherever else we want to generate and direct that traffic. But let's stay focused here. So I did my local keyword search. When I did the search as a customer in the beginning of a session, I now have gone through, I could be on page 2, I could be on page 3, but I stumble upon the best answer for my query, which just so happens to be a web entity that I control. Okay, it could have been a website, it could have been a Web 2.0. On that property that I control is a URL string, a backlink, a link, right? A hypertext that also contains, in this instance, let's just say a CID that's going to a maps listing. So from here, I've gone now to a maps listing, all right, to a property, and generally when you first launch it, it might be in the bottom of maps. Say I'm ranking 30 in maps, but I've gone from the keyword search to the web property I control, now to the listing. Now that I'm on the listing, we'll say in maps, I see the details. I bring up that little knowledge graph, that little panel now, and now I'm interested in this business, and I'm looking at this business. And from here, what's a general consensus, or what's something that generally happens in a customer evolution? And let me make sure that we are both on the same page and understanding what I mean by evolution. Just so we're all on the same page here. Okay, very important. And why it's this. The gradual development of something, especially from a single simple to a more complex form. It's the gradual development of something from a simple to a more complex form. This is the evolution. So when we're talking about a customer evolution, it started with a simple keyword search. We've landed on a property we control, which led us over to a maps listing. The maps listing is giving us, we've now clicked on it, it's opened up our panel, our GMB panel, and inside of there, we would be looking at what? Well, if I was a customer, I'd be looking at some images. I may even leave a comment on an image. I might also do a directional query. I might look for directions to a business. Hey, from my location to here, where is this business? I might also click the button because it's going to register for a phone call. I might also look at some of the reviews and scroll through, even though in this particular instance, maybe there wasn't any. But some other businesses, especially if you're doing localized SEO and you're trying to rank a person's business listing higher, that's definitely one of the steps that I would certainly take. So maybe read reviews. Now, this could be the end of the evolution, but generally not. So I want to take you, so we could have did all those steps, and after we have performed those actions within the listing, all signals, all traced back inside of insights, right? I hope that you're following this. This is important. I know that it seems, I hope that you're following this. Within here, we're thinking about what's a normal user do, right? This is what the normal evolution of a customer would do. And then from this point on, of course, the only next logical step would be going to the website. Once I'm on the website, I'm not only just landing on the homepage, but I might want to go to the About Us. I might want to go to another piece, but at no time will I ever go back to the beginning inside of this session here. When I started it, when I end it, I'm ending on the best answer, which all stemmed from this query. You see? Now, in the course of a month's time, let's say in the course of 30 days, if this is then performed, and we have to think and we have to go back a little bit further here. If for this local keyword search, a head term, which also you could be doing other terms, but if we're focused on ranking for a particular term for this map pack, if the normal localized amount for this end, think about your website here, okay? These things are connected in a way. Google's taking that information. It's all within a session, okay? There could be a better term other than session, but I'm saying session. If inside of this session I end on the best answer, I don't go back to Google to look for another business. I don't go back. Obviously, I found the right answer. Now, if normally your business for this term ends up generating from this search, right, from this local keyword search, if normally your business starts to generate, you're only getting 10 people to start the evolution from the beginning until the end and land on your website, or 10 people go to your business listing. I'm just using 10. It could be far higher. It could be hopefully more, right? But if it's only X amount, but then all of a sudden, not boom all at once, not 100 more, not 500 more, because if a local term, New York SEO, gets 4,400 searches per month, we have to think to ourselves, and then we look at our website and we're saying, okay, well, this website, because we've already sat and watched it, is only getting 300 visits from the SERP per month. And okay, the insights is showing that this listing, I'm talking about an unverified, but if your business is listed, if it's verified, and you're looking, you're like, okay, I'm only getting this amount. I would only increase by 1%. So if you're usually getting 40 visits, make it 44. And give it 7 days, 5 to 7 days, and sit and wait and see what's going to happen. Generally, you're going to see an increase. Just recently, I do not want to share their name, but they're in the group, and they messaged me, and he's like, Chris, his name is Paul. Paul said, okay, I've gone through the process, and I've been generating, he's in a larger term, 2 to 3 clicks a day, which is far more than what I would recommend, but hey, he could do whatever. And he said within the same week, he's noticing an increase, which is excellent, right? So it all comes down to the traffic and the clicks that you're generating for your SERP. You can't just send 100 or 200. You need to be mindful. Now, I also want to talk about, because this has been coming up, all right? I guess maybe I should have named this a information day, all right? Maybe I was looking for a good title. So I hope that makes sense. If there's anybody watching, hopefully there is. Let me come over here and see if that shines light. Does that make sense if there's to anybody that's watching? Does that make sense? I assume so. I hope so. All right. Hey, Daniel. Great to see you. I do track it. For my particular business, not as much as others' businesses. But yes, I am tracking it. Now, I also want to get into this. When I am setting up, and I want to talk about this because this was another question that I was getting. All right. The structure of your website is so important, okay? And people did not grasp the concept of waves of citations. I want to talk about that again today because this is yet another way to increase rankings. I want you to think about this. So if I have my main website, all right, this is my website. And on my website, I have a category page of whatever. The main key term, all right? It's my key term. But then I have a location of this, right? So, and this is one key term. Actually, it should be location and then service. My mistake. So this is a location, also known as a category page. And then this is my service. Now, off of my website, I also have another location. Okay, and then I have these services. Okay. Now, when I first run my first set, my most important citations to the business, all right, I'm running citations. I've gone out, I've created 200, 350 citations. Now, inside of your citations, there's a couple of details. What are the details? Well, generally it's your NAP, right? Name, address, phone number, a business description, a link, and you can also include some keywords, right? Right. So that's the first wave. It's going to head into the website. You want to get into all of the main directories. But if you've noticed, depending on your niche, depending on the location, there's also different types of citations for each area. There's also different citations and directories for different business types, okay? So what I'm getting at is all of your main and your centralized citations need to go to your general citations, the main ones, like a Yelp. These need to go to the main website. All of your other niche specific, also other citations, other directories, these need to go to the location specific or service specific to the pages that are directly related to that. Now, why would I want to do this? Because citation sources are generally more accessible. They generally index at a better rate, right? And if we go back to the customer evolution, if I'm doing a specific search and I'm a normal browser, I'm looking for businesses, I'm looking for reviews, I'm going online, I might be digging deeper on a business. Because if I do a search, okay, I'm doing a search for a business. I found a business that looks good. The next logical thing to do is that business name plus reviews. That business name, right, plus whatever the case is. Who's worked with them? Where have they done business before? Are they licensed? Are they listed with the Better Business Bureau? Are they, right? So one of the things that would come up would be not only these citations going to the main website, but also the citations that are either straight business citations, different types of directories and citation sources that are directly related to a certain type of business or industry. But then there's also very niche specific for the state or for the city citations that you can go and get. And what are these set up for? So if I have my initial 400 citations, That's one set, but now I'm building out a second wave of citations that are directly related to my town and my industry, and I start doing a search for a particular business plus the keyword. These citation sources are generally going to show up higher. Any customer is going to be looking for businesses and directories. Hey, what's the reviews? What's going on? This is another way to start sending traffic in. This is how businesses are found. I mean, you have to really think when you're setting up a program, and this is why I call it the evolution. Because when you're setting up your business and anything that you're doing, it's all about directing a customer back to the best answer for a query. The best answer for a query for whatever they're looking for is your business. And in the beginning of a session and the end of a session, whether they're doing a keyword search, whether they're doing a geo-modified plus keyword search, for whatever it is, the best answer to the query needs to be your website. I hope that makes sense. So I want to talk about another tactic, something else that we did. So it's generally all about a referrer, right? The referrer traffic coming from a trusted property. Also, I want to talk about this. This was another tactic that we used and still use to this day. When you go and you set up, if you go to a map, okay, let's talk about this really quick here. Let me show you guys something. All right. Let's go through this process. This is important. This will be very helpful for you. All right. Let's just look for, how about a Painter, Pennsylvania? All right. I probably spelled that wrong. I want to show you something though. Let's go into maps. I want to show you something else that's a relatively powerful signal. This is something that we were doing. All right, here, let's go up here to this guy's paint shop. Okay. Now we know that the number one ranking factor for a business is proximity, right? When we're talking about Google Maps and we're talking about local, we're talking about ranking in this pack over here, more so in the snack pack. Everything revolves around proximity, okay? Now I want to show you another powerful signal, a way that you can generate traffic to get that boost, all right? Also, once you start sending user-generated signals and clicks and traffic, regardless of how you're doing it, you know, this will be very helpful. So if I'm looking at, I want to do, let's just say from here to this business up here, all right? Let's say from here, I'm sure a 5-mile radius is a lot farther. But whatever the case is, you need to figure out what a 5-mile radius is first is. Because when we're talking about ranking a Google My Business listing, this will all make sense. Just stick with me, all right? I have to explain in order for it to, because it starts small and then it goes bigger. You need to first and foremost figure out your 5-mile radius, your immediate radius from your business. Your very next step should be making, people were making those maps, but not necessarily maps. Go out and buy yourself some Google My Business listings. Find your 5-mile radius. Go to the listing and put, okay, how about add a missing place, right? Add your missing place. So this could be Chris Palmer Painting, okay? So we're adding our business. So our category is obviously painting. Stick with me, guys. Stick with me. I'm putting you guys on right here. So here we go. We're doing this. So let's just say that we've started this. We've made a contribution now. Okay? So this is done. So we're adding the business now. Let me see where that sucker went. All right. All right, add my business. Okay. Now, actually, I needed to make sure. I should have made sure that I went and gathered the same place. Here's what I'm getting at. Here, let's do this. Here, let's do Chris Palmer Painting. Okay. Painting. How was I spelling that? All right. So Chris Palmer Painting. Now, again, we're creating the focal points for our business. We could start at 5 miles. We could start at 10 miles. We could start at 20. My recommendation would be start at 5 miles. All right. Obviously, you may want other listings. So this is going to be painting. Okay. Stick with me, guys. Go to next. Yes. Okay. I needed to see what that was. So how about 442 Winners Ave? All right. West Hazleton. Look at, they gave it to me. All right. I'm sure that this is out of the zone that I'm in. Do I also serve? Yes. Let's do that later. I just want to show you another way. 4596717. Why not? Yep, let's get the free website. This is key. All right, bam. Okay. All right, this is irrelevant here. The postcard. Okay. We could verify it later. Now, let's head back over here to the map. All right, let's get rid of this. Let's go here and paste. United States. Wow, it was really far away. Okay, so here's the address. Add a missing place. Huh? See what we're doing here? Now we're going to go to painting. I want to show you this, how powerful it could be if your business is centralized in a particular area, okay? Regardless if somebody else can see it, once you have created the listing and added the missing place, even if it's within when you're doing the search, it does not matter, because let's go into here. Done. I'm just trying to get it to go. I'm sorry it's taken so long. Now, generally, you shouldn't be doing the 24 hours. This is generally a pick, all right? So, just saying, we'll be closed on Wednesday. Why not? Whoop. All right, that's just for now. I want to show what I'm getting at here is all right, perfect. So let's gather this up, copy. Now, one of the ways that we were doing is when we were going in and creating this, we were making an outline of a 5-mile radius. This is what I'm getting at here, okay? What we were doing was this. I'm waiting for it to populate. It just hasn't populated yet. At some point, though, it will populate and it'll be here within Mayan. I was hoping that it would populate faster, but it's not. if my business was this right here, I'd be setting up my 5-mile radius of the unverified listings and I'd be getting the websites. When I set up my unverified listings around this particular area, I'm using those listings to drive traffic, because when I add the website, the business website, on that, I can also put any type of call to action to get back to the main listing or go to a website. Now, by no means would I ever add in a business location here. Here, let me see if I can get this sucker to pop for me. I was hoping to get it to pop quick. It doesn't look like it's popping for me. I was really hoping that it would. I don't know what other contributions I have on this. I wanted to show some of the other unverifieds that I have on here. Let's go to the edits. This might be a bad account. Oh, I tried to get another New York one too. Dang, I was hoping that it would populate for me, but it's not populating. The long story short of it is this. It's a lot easier to just draw it out. I have the center of my business. From the center of my business, I have a 5-mile radius. From this 5-mile radius, I would go out and I would create unverified listings. These unverified listings are geared around the secondary or the keyword cluster terms that are related to my business and service and industry. These are all centralized different services within the industry and the business. What I mean by this is the business accounts that I was setting up on top of those, the websites, were still within the industry and within the niche, but they were all geared around secondary keyword terms. So when I was searching for the secondary keyword terms, I'd be only looking for that business listing. From that business listing, I would be driving traffic, getting a better answer to a real business going into my listing. Over the course of 20 or 30 clicks, over the course of a month, I was noticing that there would be a significant increase in the actual listing. Now, these increases are generally better if it's a verified listing. But that's really what I was getting at, is start with a much shorter proximity to where you want to rank, and then start working your way out. But by putting different pinpoints in the areas that you want to rank in and driving traffic through those, you'll start to notice that if you're ending the session on your business, that you'll see the increase. I'm doing this off the cuff, but I just wanted it to be prominent that that was one of the main ways that we were driving traffic. Let's head over here to maps. There's my listing. All right, let's see if we can answer questions. I was hoping that this would populate for me. Sometimes if I can pop back and forth, I could get it to pop up. I just wanted to show you how to put it in the place so it would be easier for you. Let me see here. Crystal clear. Good. I was hoping to get one to populate. For those of you that know what I was doing, I think because I was using this account so much to do it, and I got a couple of them to populate, plus I was going back to the New York location. I was trying to get a bunch of them. I think that they shut off because if you notice when you're in an account, if you say you're inside of here and you're making contributions, a lot of times the contributions, like it's not on here, it's on the maps. The contributions that are within your account, let me show you quick. You'll see them, they'll be over here on the left hand side, inside of here. So if you take a look over here, usually if you have a newer account or an account that you haven't been really messing around with, you'll see your contributions. And if I go into my contributions, when you have a fresh account, um, a lot of them were going through. But as you can see, as I was trying to make other changes up in here, here's one that I got. I think that this one went through for me. I was doing this for somebody. Did this one go through for me? Yeah, this one went through. So here's one that I got to pop. This was just not too long ago. It's a stationery store. And I did a whole string of stationery stores. I was working with a partner of mine. He was selling, and well, not selling. He was offering a program. Let me see if I could find that. Here's the ones that I was trying to mess around with. Here's another real estate. Oh, I don't want to show you those ones. I don't want to show you those, actually. So yeah, I don't know. Let me answer some questions. I was trying to do one live for you so you guys could see that it would pop through, but I think that you're going to need one, a newer, cleaner account, not an account that you've been messing around with. So hey, Chris, makes sense. Good. Yep, like a book in more first and last chapter, you need chapters in between, and those will determine. Yes. Let me show you yet another strategy. Let me talk about this. This was something else that we were doing, all right, that really helps out. All right, I'm sorry, you know, some people yell at me for drawing. They want me to show examples, but a lot of the work that I'm doing, like if I'm, say, like I just showed you one of the real estate people, like that was an accident. Like if I'm the stuff that I'm doing and I see that works, like I'm doing it for somebody, you know what I mean? But you just saw another one of my niches. It was in real estate. You know, like I'm doing this stuff just like you guys, you know, like the people that I'm doing work for, like I can't share their information. You know, people are always like, oh, show me, like I can't. I want to, you can't do that. It's just not proper business, especially like most of the people that come into, like lately, at least like in the past year, like they notice that I'm pretty public about stuff. Like I can't, like that's always one of the discussions that is had with me. Like, listen, I don't want you showing my stuff. Like it's just, you know, like you can't, if you're in the SEO industry and you're performing and you're doing client work, especially generating leads for people or whatever, like you know what I'm talking about. Like it's very difficult. But I can explain in this way. I can tell you, you know, I can show you what's going to work for you. But another one is this. If we're setting up non-spammy but branded YouTube, okay, YouTube assets, all right, we create a video. And inside of that video, I think I showed this. Because if you search down here, one of the ones that we were doing, and nobody caught on to this, but I was driving traffic for that New York through this property, but I switched once people saw it inside of the training, I had to change it out. But if you do New York SEO, Chris Palmer Marketing, I'll show you one of the evolutions. Okay. Well, there you go. You guys caught another one of mine. There's another one for you. You know. But in any case, if you take a look here, I recently had to change this stuff out, especially once I released the training. But this property right here is a presentation, right? And I showed this before. But we were driving traffic through because it had to initiate with a keyword search. This is a perfect and a prime example of an evolution and how you can do this yourself. So inside of here is a New York SEO. This used to be a link in here. All right. But if you're wondering, like, okay, I thought that you know, I thought that these things don't index. I thought that you couldn't, you know, people say this, you know, like, oh, I thought that these Google stacks and these properties don't index. Not only do they index, I mean, here it is right here. Here's one of them. We were also driving, if you take a look here, I want to show you something very, I switched out the links in this, and I've showed this before, but I want to just let you know, like, this was one of the tactics that I used for that listing that I showed you. Inside of here, if you take a look here, the geolocation was New York. That's prime, okay? Make sure that the geolocation is turned on. If you take a look here, business name, which as I showed inside of the video when I did it, it was exactly this right here. It was New York SEO, Chris Palmer Marketing, SEO New York, all right? Inside of here, how we were getting the entity to index and how we were bringing the traffic through is if you scroll down here, you'll notice something. See it? There it is. That's this, right? So we were using those as almost like a ping pong back and forth to drive traffic through. Okay? I hope that I'm letting you behind the veil enough to put I'm not giving you the, I'm not, however you want to say it, spoon feeding it, but I'm giving you, here it is. I mean, you're still missing the steps, but no matter how you're going to drive the traffic, if you have an unverified listing or a verified listing that you want to bring up, you need a referrer. You need it to start and centralize from somewhere that's associated to a main keyword, right? You get what I'm saying? All right. So hopefully that helps you. That was another tip for you. I'm trying to provide as much value as possible. Does anybody have any questions? This really pertains to a lot of the people that are going through the training. I need some Tylenol. I have a bad headache. All right, let's answer some questions. How do you track it? What tools do you use? Mostly if I'm working with a particular client, I primarily use the insights that Google provides. When I'm doing a lot of research, I'll let you guys on to a tool that I use. I'm not affiliated, but it's called Botsol. I use this tool when trying to generate and get clients. You guys are always, not you guys, guys, gals, I'm addressing whoever is watching. If you take a look in here, I have this tool, not on this computer, but on my VPS. This tool right here, when I'm doing a lot of like client outreach, trying to get somebody new, I'll use this tool to see what's going on. I just want to show you guys a really cool tool. It's called Botsol. I have this on my VPS. It's sick. All right, just so you guys know. All right, if you don't have this, check it out. I think they have a free one. I don't know. I'm not pitching it to you. I'm just saying if you guys are in GMB, getting clients, and you're doing work, this tool is awesome. Okay? So with that being said, let's see if there's any questions. So that was the question. Mostly insights, but when I'm doing like outreach or if I'm doing some work within there, I use that tool right there. Okay? The customer evolution would be like the customer journey. Yeah. I guess you could look at it that way. I mean, if we're talking, what I'm getting at here is if you want a quicker win, that means that you need to, we can take the word manipulate, but we need to generate, right, the essence of a actual customer from beginning until end. This is how we get ranking increase. I hope that makes sense. Why is my homepage short and simple? Because my homepage has one purpose and one purpose only. The purpose, I get this a lot. I'll answer that question for you. So, my website only has one purpose, and as you can see here, the purpose is I would like to talk to you. Submit your email. I can't make it any more plain as day. The purpose of the website is here's what I do: SEO training, and I do consulting. If you want to learn optimization or get consultation, boom, here's me. And then if you want to learn more about me, you can talk to me right here live or go over here to YouTube so I can showcase some of my talents. So hopefully that helps you out. That was my thinking behind it. It's very simple. The objective is to get in contact with people. I want to talk to people. I want to help people. Without people, I have nothing to do. So that's the purpose of it. I have been working on trying to get, I want to rank for SEO training. And I'm having a little bit of trouble. I mean, if I go in here to SEO training, I know I would consider it a medium word, and we look for Control F and we do Chris. Here I am, you know. So, but I'm down the page some here, you know. And and if you're curious, inside of my settings, it's not custom to me. So I'm just trying to help people with training and consulting. That's what I do. So hopefully that helps you out. R. Rajob. Blake says, is it risky to link to the money site from the unverified listings? I would not. I wouldn't do that. I use unverified listings just to generate traffic through. I use unverified listings to mold keyword clusters, if that makes sense to you. All right. A lot of times, we'll stick with this one. If we're doing, let's do Miami SEO. It's another place that I want to try to get. And we scroll on down. I would be looking for, this is a cluster, okay? Searches related to. So when I build out pages, or I'm building out informational queries, or if I'm building out unverified listings and I'm talking about anything, I'm going to be talking about these topics that are Orlando, Miami company, Los Angeles, probably not Los Angeles, Miami SEO agency, Miami SEO expert, anything that's related to my top level term, which is here. Okay. So the purpose of an unverified listing is to be able to drive traffic and also put pinpoints on the map to signal to Google that I am in this area. I'm a prominent force in this area. I'm also going to drive traffic through different types of searches and find my business, which at the end of the day is always going to lead back to the main entity that I'm trying to rank. So to answer your question, no, those properties are simply there for content and for traffic. That's it. And if you are going to buy listings, all right, this is a big tip, guys, please, and gals. If you're buying verified listings, all right, if you're buying and setting up verified listings, or if you're going out and you're trying to verify them yourself, you have one listing that's verified. I put a star. That one listing goes to one site, okay? If you're trying to get multiple, because, and two, if you're in a radius, okay, if I'm in a radius, I have a main verified listing, and this is a 10-mile radius, okay? I shouldn't have another listing. I should have another listing that's verified at least 20, 30, 40 miles away in another centralized town or another centralized city. Keep these away from each other. One entity, one website. One listing, one website, all right? Don't go and get 20 verified listings and then send them all to the same website. Don't steer clear of that, all right? That's how you get nabbed. That's not the way to go, all right? So I hope that helps you. Tony asks, does it matter what Google account you create contribution from? Yes. Yeah, generally too, it's very simple to go through. Anytime you get a Gmail account, say you go out and you buy, I'll show you guys where I get some accounts from. So verified Google accounts, I'll show you my buddy's website. And it should be plain as day here. Buy PVA accounts. I think that's Gmail. All right, so in any case, when you buy an account, it's not that one. I've checked that one out before. Maybe it is this one. I don't think it is, though. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it is this one. All right, so say you go in and you get them. Follow these steps. Say you buy accounts that are verified. Make sure that they're a little bit older. This guy's legit, all right? So if anybody's looking. As soon as you get the account, make sure you're logging in. When you log in, I don't know what kind of VPN you're using or what type of proxies you're using, but make sure that you're logging into those accounts and taking them over. From that, the very next step is sign up for local guide. So as soon as you get the account and you take it over from a particular VPN, I don't know if you're using, they have one that keeps track of it on Mozilla, which is where I do a lot of my SEO from, not generally within Gmail. Inside of Mozilla, I have something that's called Proxy Switcher. I think it's called Omega Proxy Switcher. I'm not 100% sure. But that particular tool will keep everything in order. This persona is this proxy. This persona is this proxy. So as soon as you buy an account, grab it and then go get a local guide. And then from that local guide, don't do it straight away. If you buy an aged account, it's okay. Once you have it and you're retaining it and it's been a week, and when you log into Gmail, it's not gone, then you can start making contributions. When you're making contributions, don't start making changes right away. When you're making your contributions, verify addresses, verify phone numbers, and actually do some of the work. Like, go and check. Like, don't just guess and go down the line. Like, double check, because they'll throw zingers at you. Like, they'll give you information that they know the answer to, and it's blatantly obvious. All you have to do is do a search. Okay? But yeah, contributions from newer emails. When I'm making contributions, I'm a local guide. And always build it up, at least get to a level 2 or a level 3, and then start making edits. Okay? Now, as you increase the guides, you'll be able to make better edits that are, they seem to go through better. But whatever you do, don't make a bunch of them. Okay? Wait, say you want to start adding missing places, which is the main objective here. When you make that edit, wait, go in, check the email, go to the email, check it, look at it like a normal person would, like a real person would. Follow the steps here. So hopefully that makes sense to you, Tony. Hopefully that helps you out, brother. So Christian says, have you played with Google photo tags on unverified GMBs? I'm also having people put into Google Map GPS to see if it pops up. So if you're talking about when you're adding, are you talking about adding particular, like, we'll say XF data in a way? Christian, put inside the chat here, please, if you're still watching, what you mean by this. And if I've helped anybody in here today, please, a thumbs up so others can find the video would be super beneficial. Unless you don't like it, then give me a thumbs down. Hey, either way. If I've helped you, great. If I haven't, thumbs down me. But Christian, please elaborate on that question. Daniel asks, do you know if GMB phone validation is working? Not right now. Not right now. I've been having a lot of trouble. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it a little bit. I shared this a couple of times, but people, I'll tell you this. If you want to get anything done, you need, first and foremost, all right, first and foremost, head out and look for something like this. Get a business card template. Make yourself some business cards. The next step is this. Okay. Now, I'm not giving you any type of advice. I'm just telling you the steps that you'll need. If you take a look here, 50 doll hairs. Okay. If you can validate via video, okay, this is what I'm telling you. You need at least an image or two. Make sure that you are tagging the image with particular EXIF data that comes from a real camera of your sign, okay? Whether it's on a glass window, like I have, an LLC with documentation, and a business card, basically saying you're a real business. If you can provide that you're a real business, you're not going to have any trouble verifying listings. I do know that the cost of getting them verified coming up here soon will not be in the range of the $50 range, $30 range like it was, because it's very difficult unless you're outside of the USA. That's all I have to say about that. But that was huge, and that should be very helpful to you out there. Geotagging photos to increase service area and verifying the listing. Yeah, I think that you might be wasting a little bit of time. I don't think that it's going to be worth the time or the effort. I know it's not a lot of time or a lot of effort, but I don't feel that it's going to work. The last time that I was utilizing that for a particular travel club, and we were really going through the processes, it didn't seem to add anything, but we were doing a lot of other work too, which really popped. Fresher Carpet says, does it help to be performing CTR to a GMB with different Google accounts, or is it okay to not be logged into an account? No, it's perfectly fine not to be logged into an account. All right. And two, it doesn't even matter if you are using it. See, I talked about this yesterday. I want to talk about this. All right, here, let me give a little bit more benefit for you guys. All right. For me and for a lot of other people that perform SEO, client SEO, or say you have a business that's long-term running, you want to have full control, right? That's why I teach the way that I teach. I like to have full control. Now, there is another option, okay? You can use, say micro workers to do particular clicks on an entity, and it will rise it up. You don't need geo-specific, you don't need those IP ranges because it doesn't matter for rankings, okay? Now, however, just like with link building, I'm if you follow me, you've heard me say that at least as of now, and recently I launched 10 different pages to double check to make sure that I was still correct. I buy junk sites all the time to play with them. I'm working on a testing platform, which I've been working on for quite some time, and it'll launch soon. So I can release tests for free. But in any case, just like links, it doesn't matter where the links come from. As long as it's a powerful or an authoritative link, it still will pass power and you'll still get a ranking increase. Now, it's the same thing for clicks and traffic. Right now, it does not seem to matter where the clicks or the traffic are coming from. All right. And as we're looking for the tokens, all right, the verification, the way they are authorizing and giving a token to a particular browser or somebody searching, when you're looking at what they're checking for, when you're looking to see how far they go back, they're looking for the IP. Is it, they are checking IP range, they are looking at location, and they're looking at the browser. Okay. They're also in some instances, depending on what you're doing, you'll see a token that is for location. Now, a good example of this is a person, if you go and look at what they're checking for, if say you pull the source code and you're looking at what are they authenticating, what are they looking for? Let's say an application like Tinder. I hate to say this, but say you're looking at an application like that. Now, an application like that is looking even farther back to make sure that the user is where they really are, making sure that there's nothing in place to maybe manipulate this. They're going farther back and really trying to authenticate that user, the person, their location, the browser, the device, all the way up. Now, I said that to say this. As of now, for authentication and for searches and for traffic, because of the amount of resource that it would take for just a normal searcher to validate all of that information, it's just not worth it, in my opinion, for, say, a normal user doing searches or clicks. But I do feel over the course of time, I think that the validation of the traffic, just like with the validation of links, I think that eventually it's going to have to come from a niche specific. I think to future-proof yourself, you should be building niche-specific links, but you can get away with, right now, any link. It's the same with traffic. You could be sending any type of traffic, any type of clicks. You could have them performing particular actions and still get a benefit, It's not as guaranteed as some other methods, but right now it doesn't matter. So the long story short of it is this: if you want full control and you want to be able to do it, you want to be able to have full control, the location, the device location, the IP ranges that are going in. But sending any type of traffic from anywhere, being logged into a Gmail account, doesn't matter. Hopefully that helps you. So Christian says, also having accounts save GMB as a favorite place. Yeah, favorite place, putting labels. I think that these are all very small little pieces that can be helpful. I don't think that it makes up what the bulk of a ranking decision is. I think that the bulk of it is the proximity, the amount of digital references on the web. I think that the structure related to your industry and other people in your industry, because we know that they're mapping our performance next to our competitors, and it will tell us within insights that our listing is performing X amount better than average listings within our industry. If that stuff didn't matter and they weren't looking at our click-through and our amount of picture looks and our amount of, people asking for directions versus our competition, then why would they show it? Right? These are the things that matter. They're giving us the blueprint. Hopefully that helps you. So how do I rank for local keywords if the first sites that pop up are those like Yelp, Slice Life, Yellow Pages? I think I'm probably missing something. Well, if you're seeing those types of sites, then that's what Google is rewarding for that query. I would be looking for other queries where regular sites like yours, maybe your competition or other sites are, that you can get ranking position. You're never going to beat, I don't want to say never. It's going to be very, very difficult and more so expensive to outrank, say, a Yelp or a Slice Life or Yellow Pages. Unless you're a directory getting a lot of traffic, the chances of you beating them are about slim to none. So I would be looking at maybe longer tail keywords or different keyword phrases where my competition and other sites like mine are actually popping. All right? So hopefully that helps you. Is there any other questions that I could help anybody with? I'd be super happy to help anybody with anything. I wasn't really making this a AMA, but it can be. All right, let's go on down the list. All right, so if there are no questions, I guess I'll hop off. Yeah. But yeah. So well, it was absolutely excellent spending time with you today. If you do have any questions, please let me know. Michael, yes, I do offer coaching or consultation. The best place to reach out is maybe just Messenger. Just reach out to me through Messenger. That way it's instant, because if I'm standing and I'm working, I'll get the message. But yeah, reach out to me. I have no problem helping you. It depends on what your industry is and your niche, and generally I'll schedule something and we'll be able to talk, and I'll know right away if it's something I can help you with. Blake, thank you. It's been a pleasure, everybody. I hope that there's no other questions. Yeah. Well, I guess it's non-relevant to this, but I want to do something. I really want to showcase how cool Surfer is, because people have been asking, because I leave it in my comment section, but I don't ever make videos about it, just because I don't like to seem pitchy, like I'm pitching people all the time. It's not what I like to do. But Michael, I'm glad that I could help you. If you want, you could reach out to me, but I think I'm gonna hop off now. It's been an absolute pleasure, everybody. I hope that the tips that I was able to give today were very helpful. I hope that it opened your minds up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I try to answer every question. The only way I won't answer your question is if it has a profanity or a link inside of it, because then it goes right into my spam folder and I just erase those. All right. So thank you so much, everybody. It's been a pleasure. Have a blessed day. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.